family, money, this a triple threat. Really started with nothing, had to manifest. If you don't know your worth, they gon' give you less. Why they envy me? Cause I'm the best. MVP. My legacy is how they remember me. And I know success brings your enemies.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Triple Threat Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Bruce, aka Detroit Mobile.
I'm Vic Gurley, aka MVP Vic.
Brian Keys, aka BK609.
Now today we got a very, very special guest when it comes to financial literacy. Okay, and you're gonna want to tune in this episode. We got a lot to talk about. I mean, we're gonna even talk about how to even have your own bank. Like this is just crazy. I know that sounds crazy right now, but let me talk a little about our guest today. He owns his own firm. Number one, when it comes to investments and things like that, he's gonna talk about that. He owns over 150 properties, multifamily specifically, okay? So when you talk about building wealth and becoming the bank, that's what we're gonna be talking about today, okay? He just copped, I think, what is it, 2 Lamborghinis?
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
two, not just one personal Lamborghini.
But now.
But now 2. One's specifically run out.
What's the color?
You got the money green shirt, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, man, y'all gonna want to tap into this episode, okay? So listen, let me wait no further and introduce my guest, Marvin Mitchell, man.
What's up, y'all?
Man, glad to have you on here, man.
Hey, man, I'm super excited to be on this podcast, bro.
Yeah.
I know y'all out here working.
Nah, definitely. So, Marv, I mean, how did you even get into, first off, I don't know any black person owning their own firm.
Yeah.
I'm just be real with you.
I'm actually the youngest person ever, youngest black person ever with their own firm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I started my firm when I was 25.
Wow. You went to college?
Yeah, bro. Actually, I never thought I was going to be an advisor, bro. I didn't grow up thinking about money. Okay. I actually grew up poor. My mom had me when she was 15, bro.
Wow.
We was broke. I was homeless. We were living in a homeless shelter. Dad was in jail. He might be still in jail. I don't know. But he'd been in jail pretty much my whole life, in and out. He would get in, go out, etc. So I'm actually the first person in my family to graduate from college. I'm the first person in my family to go to college. First person in my family to graduate from college. And then once I graduated college, I did graduate in Illinois. Then I moved to Texas to attend law school.
Okay.
But in Texas, like my first semester, my grandmother became sick with cancer. So I ended up coming back home to St. Louis to help take care of her. And then 2 things happened. She had a financial advisor. She saved in her 401k, worked at the same job for 36 years. Strong, independent woman, said that she never wanted to be a burden on the family. But her advisor lost her 50% of her money when the stock market crashed. Even though she said she wanted to be safe, she had no long-term care insurance, so she ended up spending down all of her money, running out of money, being broke, being on Medicaid, passing away, feeling like she was a burden. And once that happened, it said, man, I feel like I failed her because she made me her durable power of attorney. And I didn't catch that. So I wasn't financially literate myself. It's not like I had somebody to teach me to be financially literate. I'm the first person to graduate from college. So once that happened, I said, I need to learn everything that I can. I started to do everything that I could, read every book, wanted to know what rich people were doing. And then that's how I got into the financial industry. I said, I'm not going to count on somebody else to do it. I'm going to do it myself.
Smart. So, again, it's crazy. I don't know anybody that owns their own firm. Like, period. So, getting into finances, because in our community, right? The one thing that we do lack is finances. We're not taught that. A lot of times, we don't have any good lineage of being good stewards of our money.
Well, if you think about it, we're not taught that. But if you think about it, who is taught that?
Right.
Quite frankly, the education system ain't teaching us that. Right. Like, you go to school, all they want to do is teach you is how to be a consumer.
Yep.
So that you can work for somebody else, so that you can get student loans, so that you can be forced to pay off that student loan, so you can save money in the 401k once you get a job, so that the government can hold that 401k hostage until you're 59 and a half, because you can't touch it or else you're going to get penalized, so that you'll keep working that job, and then you retire, and then all of a sudden they're forcing you to take money out at a certain time, and they control it because they can raise taxes whenever they want to. So if they're not teaching everybody. They're not teaching anybody financial literacy. They're definitely not teaching us financial. They didn't even want us to read or to vote. So why would they teach us financial literacy? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So getting into all of that, because I mean, obviously you've learned quite a bit about the financial world. So
Right.
how did you educate yourself, or who, I guess, contributed to that education so that you know what you know now?
You know, so mentors can come in all forms, all shapes and forms, right? I didn't know anybody with money growing up. So what I had to do is I said, you know what? First thing I had to do is I said, I need to read everything that I can. You can read a multiple good books and you can educate yourself. But really you don't start to learn until you get into a room, until you say, I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to pay money for the mentorship to get into the room. Because I will tell you this, the same way that the educational system makes you conform, what I learned about the financial industry, even as a financial advisor, what I learned is they want you to conform as well. It's the same people that are teaching in the financial industry that taught you in the schools. They didn't do it themselves, but they're trying to teach you how to be rich when they're filing bankruptcy and they're broke themselves. Those are the financial advisors. So I learned that being a Wall Street advisor. I found that most of them are broke. So I realized that I can't count on my industry to teach me. I can't count on the educational system to teach me. So what do I need to do? The only thing that I needed to do is I said, well, I need to find out, forget what the financial industry is teaching me. What are rich people out here doing? So I wanted to find the richest people and I wanted to pay them and sit down with them and say, teach me. I didn't care what it cost, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Even if I had to borrow the money, I said, I don't care. I need you to teach me how this game really works. I didn't care what race they were. I didn't care how old they were. I just knew that you got something that I don't have and I need to go back and teach my people. Because at first, I'm not going to tell you this. When I first got into the industry, what I said was, well, I'm going to teach all of my people how to do this. But I didn't know how to do it myself. And I was going broke trying to teach everybody else. So one of my mentors told me, he said, look, bro, if you want to help broke people, he said, the best thing that you can do for broke people is to not be one of them. So you need to do what you can and tap into the people who have the money. I don't care who they are, black, white, Asian, it don't matter, so that you can learn these principles so that you can make some money so you can go back and teach some other people how to make some money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. So does your firm focus more on stocks, getting their portfolio together, or certain investments? What do y'all focus more on?
Yeah, good question. Pretty much full comprehensive planning. We teach stocks, we teach bonds, we teach ETFs, which I'll talk about in a minute, exchange traded funds. We do life insurance. We do long-term care insurance. We teach people how to create their own bank. We teach a financial system to build passive residual income, because that's really what was missing. We're not just trying to sell somebody some stocks and say, hey, now you're on your own. You got some stocks. Right. We're trying to teach people how to actually make money so that they can be financially free. The goal shouldn't be to be debt-free. The goal should be to be financially free, which means how can your passive income make more than the income that you have for your job? Only then do you really have financial freedom, because it don't matter how much money you have if all of your time is tied up.
Right. So how can the people get that information from your firm? Is it in the form of a book, website, courses, what?
I'm actually, my book comes out soon. It might be out already by the time this podcast has dropped, but the name of my book is Becoming Your Own Bank, The Journey from Becoming a Debtor, Saver to a Wealth Creator.
Okay.
So that book is coming out soon. However, we have two different things. We're offering an actual free checklist that people can learn how to become their own bank, which we'll talk about in a second. It's called thebankerschecklist.com. Okay. Thebankerschecklist.com. And you can also schedule a complimentary consultation simply by going to the wealthcreationcall.com.
Okay.
Wealthcreationcall.com. When you go there, you'll be able to put in your information. You can have a free 15-minute strategy session with my team. And if we need to discuss something further, we will. But we'll make sure that we get you on the right path.
Definitely. All right, so guys, and listen, when I watch this for YouTube, we're going to make sure we have all those links in the description so you can tap in with Marvin on this episode as well.
Yeah.
So you got my mind racing, man. I got a lot of questions, man.
Yeah.
Number one, the one thing that I think a lot of people, especially our culture, we don't talk about having, which is, I have it, that a lot of people, when it comes, when they die, they don't have no life insurance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How is it important having life insurance? And talk about how you can actually benefit off of life insurance without even dying.
Well, first off, you have to understand that all life insurance is not created equal.
Right.
You need life insurance, but you also need to know the type of life insurance to get, because there's a lot of misinformation out here that's hurting people. So, for example, you need life insurance, but let me ask you this. Does it sound more attractive? So, okay, here's the thing. If people are not buying life insurance, it's the messenger's reason. It's our problem that we're not getting people to buy life insurance. So what's wrong with the messaging where people are not buying life insurance, right? So if I'm telling you, you got to buy life insurance because you're going to die and you want to take care of your family. Like, that's true. I am going to die and I do need to take care of my family, but that's not motivating people enough, right? Who's excited about that? Buy some life insurance because you're going to die. Like, what kind of sales pitch is that, right? Nobody wants it. But if you tell people you need to buy life insurance, not just for when you die, that's just going to be an extra incentive. But you also need life insurance because it's going to help you while you're living.
Right.
What if you can have life insurance where while you're living, you get tax-free benefits? While you're living, you can borrow against it to be an entrepreneur and buy real estate and do all of those things. What if you can use this as collateral so you can be in a position of power and authority when you go to the banks? Now does that sound like you want life insurance?
Sign me up.
So here's the thing. You got to change life insurance from a need to a want. Instead of beating everybody up saying, why you not buying life insurance? You need to buy life. No, what's wrong with your messaging, right? Because life insurance is a very powerful tool that people who don't need life insurance are getting. Why does rich people like Mitt Romney, Donald Trump, Bill Gates, why do they have life insurance? You think they need life insurance? Why do the Rockefellers have life insurance? You think they need life insurance? They got enough money to cover them. They're doing it because of the benefits they want it. So first off, we have to turn it from a need to a want. That's number one. The second thing that we have to do is we got to understand that all life insurance ain't created equal. So you got term life insurance. So term life insurance, you probably heard the term buy term and invest the difference. Well, what that simply means is when you buy term, they're saying you're not going to need life insurance later in life. Well, we know that's not true because Bill Gates and Donald Trump wouldn't have life insurance if you wouldn't need it later in life, right? So then we got to understand that term insurance is temporary, which means that if it's a term, 10 years, 15, 20 years, when it's done, it's done. When it expires, it expires. So if it expires and you get sick or you get older and now your premium is going to be higher, all of a sudden it's going to be too expensive or you won't get approved for it, which means now you didn't do what you were supposed to do and save the difference. Now you die with no life insurance. That's what's happening with people. So we got to understand that permanent life insurance might be a play. I'm not against term. I have both. I have term and permanent. But let me talk about permanent. Permanent might cost you more on the front end, but the insurance companies have to pay it to you.
Okay.
When you die, they have to pay it to you. But more importantly, there are benefits that you get in between that time, such as tax-free benefits. You get to shelter it from lawsuits. Nobody can come after that money. You shelter it from the government. You can borrow against it, and it continues to grow uninterrupted as if you never touched it. So imagine, real estate. You're a real estate king, right? So if you're a real estate king, you know that if you have a real estate property, and you have that real estate property and it's growing, it don't grow based on the equity that you have in it. It grows based on the appreciation, right? So if I go take a home equity line of credit against that real estate property and I borrow money against it, the next year it appreciates by 5%. It's going to appreciate whether or not I borrow from it, right? Same thing with life insurance. If you have a $100,000 cash value and I go and I borrow $30,000 from it, it's still going to continue to grow as if I never touched it. So I can use that money and leverage it and buy real estate and flip that, put it back in, and it's still continuing to grow as if I never touched it. Wow. And it's liquid. I have use, I have control, I have equity. I'm not a slave to it like I am with a 401k where I can't touch it for another 30 years.
Wow.
Man.
You see what I'm saying?
Hey,
Gems.
I hope y'all caught that.
Oh man, I'm telling you, once you get this, it's powerful. I gotta tell you this thing, bro.
Rewind.
Yeah, y'all gotta rewind that because this next thing I'm about to drop, you gotta understand the first thing first. Most of y'all ain't even gonna pay attention. I know most of y'all not gonna rewind it, but if you don't rewind it, you missing something. But some of y'all gonna catch this. The people who catch this about to be multi-millionaires over the next few years. So get this: there's 3 types of people when it comes to money. 3 types of people when it comes to money. You got number 1, you got your debtors. Number 2, you have your savers. And then number 3, you have what we call wealth creators. The problem is that most people are debtors. And their only goal is to become debt-free. That's why they're following people like Dave Ramsey or Susie Orman, who are trying to teach them never to borrow, only to become debt-free. Pay off your house in full. Be debt-free. The debtor's only goal is how can I become debt-free? But you have to think about this. If this is 0 and you're here in debt and your only goal is to get to 0, basically you're telling people that my goal is to be broke. My goal is to be at 0. There are homeless people on the street who don't have any debt, but are they in a good financial position? No. Wow. So your goal is to be right. So this is the debtor. The debtor goes into debt, and this is what they call the rat race. And then they spend years trying to get out of debt, and then as soon as they're close, they go into debt again. Then they spend years, so they got interest working against them. They're debtors. Their goal is to get to 0. So obviously, we know that's not good. But then the savers, this is where it gets tricky. It's just like when people get comfortable, right? Some people get stuck on good and they never go to great.
Yeah.
The problem with people that are broke are not the problem. It's the people that are comfortable with their $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year salary. That's where the problem comes in because they're just comfortable enough not to change it. They're good, but they're too comfortable to be great.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So here's the deal. The saver, they're going to save and then they're going to pay cash. They're going to save and then they're going to pay cash. They're going to save and then they're going to pay cash. Look what's happening. They're basically a debtor in reverse. I want y'all to catch that. They're a debtor in reverse. They save, let's say you save $50,000.
Yep.
And you pay $30,000 for a vehicle or something like that. Then you got to rebuild it just to get back to the $50,000. And most people who pay themselves back will pay themselves back, but they won't pay themselves back the interest that they would have paid back the banks and the institution.
Right.
So you end up being back at that $50,000, then you pay cash again. So what are you doing? You continue to stop the forward momentum of your money. What's happening is every time you pay cash, what you're doing is not just paying that cash and giving up the interest. You're giving up what I call the opportunity cost. You're not just giving up the interest, you're giving up what that interest could have earned had you kept that interest. You're stopping the forward momentum of money, which means you don't have continual compounding, which means it's hard for you to ever get ahead. Wow. That's why most people don't have more than $100,000 in savings because they can't get ahead because they keep spending it and trying to get it back. But they feel better. They think I'm a saver. And then what they do is they want to rush off, buy a house and think that they can pay off their house. They're going to say, well, I'm going to pay extra payments to pay off their house. Well, what are they doing? They're just giving back the bank the money quicker. And when they give the bank back the money quicker, what's happening? The bank has control of that money now, not you, and you still are strapped for cash. Yeah. So I know people who have paid off their house. They celebrated paying off their house, and they lost their job. Now, they felt good because the house was paid off, but then they said, I need some cash, so I'm going to get a home equity line of credit. I'm going to get some credit against my house. So they go back to the bank, and then the bank says, let me see your income statement. Fill out this 15-page document so that we can see if we can give you back the money. Like, what do you mean give me back the money? That's my money. I just paid extra payments to get that cash. Right. No. We need to make sure that your income is verified. Well, I don't have any income. That's why I need the money. I lost my job. Right. You can't get approved. It's not your money. It's my money. Mm-hmm. Good luck. I can't get my own money. No, you can't get your own money. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When you do that, you're giving the bank control of your money. So this is my definition of being debt-free. Mm-hmm. If I'm using other debt as leverage, but I have the money on the side that if I chose to, I can pay that off anytime I want to, then I'm not burdened by debt. I'm using my debt as leverage. Right. So as long as you're using debt to make you money, as long as you're making your home an asset and not a liability, you win.
Yeah.
There are ways to make what other people would consider a liability. There are ways to make that an asset if you know what to do with it.
Facts. It's just like Turo.
And
you know what I'm saying?
You already
All
know.
of us, are in Turo.
All y'all doing Turo?
Yeah, all of us in Turo. We got multiple cars.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so just like you said, learning how to turn a liability into an asset.
Yeah.
You know, most people would think, oh man, why you got all these cars and stuff like that, car notes and stuff, but these cars are making us more money than our car note. You know what I'm saying? So just like that makes a lot of sense. So, man, you covered a lot, man.
It makes it hard to ask him questions, right?
Well, I got so many.
Well, the thing is, y'all might not even know this, but what you all are doing with that, with the Turo plays, is y'all are thinking like a wealth creator right there.
Yeah.
Well, how are you thinking like a wealth creator? I just explained the debtor and the saver, but what the wealth creator is, they never stop the forward momentum of their money. Mm-hmm. They always have their money working for them. So if they're going to go buy something like what other people would consider a liability or an asset, even like a Turo, a car on Turo, or real estate property, they're going to borrow against the leverage that they've created. They've essentially taken the time to create their own bank, and now they're going to borrow. So unlike the saver, where they're spinning it down and the forward momentum stops, they borrow and it keeps going over and over and over, never stopping the forward momentum of money. Yeah. That's what you're doing, bro. So like you said, with Turo, the Turo play.
And even with that, I tell people at the same time, because there's a lot of people that feel like, all right, I want to have this much money in the bank.
Yeah.
I want to see $100,000 on my bank statement.
Wow.
Right. Well, if you have that $100,000 sitting in the bank, you're losing money every day.
Yeah.
The value of the dollar, they printing money every day.
Guaranteed way to lose money.
So that money, you losing that money every day. So I always tell people the same thing. Make sure your money working. Invest it. Do something with it. Have it somewhere. Ownership is key.
You know how you say, even though I'm a financial advisor, one of my mentors had to get on my head because I literally had a few $100,000 sitting in the bank. Even though I teach not to do it, I remember this when he hit me on my head about it. I was like, damn, you're right. I do got this money sitting in the bank. He said, you need to take that money and you need to put it into a brokerage account. This is the thing. Brokerage accounts like TD Ameritrade, Vanguard, etc., they're going to be more safer than the bank. And you put yourself into a position where you can take advantage of the opportunities when they come. Right. So I had switched it to a brokerage account. Now keep in mind, bear in mind, if this was in cash and the opportunity came, I would have had to transfer the money over to the brokerage account. That would have took a few weeks. I would have missed the dang on opportunity. So I did it. It was there for the opportunity. Next thing you know, remember when GameStop was going crazy?
Oh, yeah, man.
Remember when GameStop was going crazy?
Yep.
So what I did when GameStop was going crazy, I actually had my money in the brokerage account, like literally 3 days before that, my money hit in a brokerage account.
Okay.
And it had went up by like $150 in a day. And as a financial advisor, I said, there's no way this is going to keep. They're not going to keep letting this go up. There's too many people with money that's going to go against this.
Right.
So I actually bought a put. I shorted it for that day that it would go down by $100 that day. Now it was a risk because if it wouldn't have went down by 100, I would have lost the money I put in there, which was $100,000.
Okay.
So I put $100,000 on that bet. It went down by $130 the next day. I earned $300,000 in a day.
Wow.
Because my money was in a position to win.
Got you. So speaking of that, okay, so and I want to get into how to, become the bank
Right.
in just a minute. But when it comes to cash, because you made a few different points about how much money you should have in the bank and things like that.
Yeah.
So in the market that we're in right now, in a bull market, what's your advice when it comes to putting money in investments and then having some capital? Because I've always been taught too, when it switched from bull to bear market, you want to have your cash ready.
Right.
Because there's a lot of opportunities to buy real estate and stuff like that.
Yep.
Because that's when I started real estate after the market crash in 2007.
So I'm gonna tell you this: cash isn't king, liquidity is king. Cash isn't king, liquidity is king. Because cash, although it's available, it's losing you money.
Right.
As long as you have liquidity, what if that liquidity is making you money, you can have access to it within a day. But you was making 4, 5, 6, 7 times the amount of money.
Okay.
So when I teach people to be a wealth creator, I'm teaching them to have that cash for liquidity, but I'm teaching them to actually make money doing it and never stop the forward momentum. So I'm teaching them So what we use is high cash value life insurance when we do this.
Okay.
We teach them how to fund specific type of life insurance policies. When you put it into there, you have access to that money, but it's not just money that you spend it. Say if you have a real estate deal
Right.
and you built it up, you got $100,000 in here. Now, let's say you take $60,000 to buy a property and you flip that and you make $50K. The whole time that you took out that $50,000, if it was in cash, you just going until you refill it. If it's in this private reserve, which is what I call it, that $60,000 that you're using is still growing while you're making money over here. So essentially, you're making money two places at the same time.
Right, yeah.
So if I got 100,000 and I borrow 60 and it made 5%, the next year it's still 105, even though I borrowed 60.
Right.
And that money I use for the 60 is making money over here on real estate, or making money on my car rentals, or making money on anything I decide to do.
I like it. Okay. So let's get into how the heck can I become my own Bank of America? Wow. How can I become my own Chase Bank?
That's what you do, bro. You got to become the bank. Let me tell you how I make a lot of money doing this strategy, right? Because I become the bank. Not only am I able to leverage my money and borrow it, people come to me and say, I need to do this wholesale deal, or I need to do this. Well, you don't really need money to do the wholesale deals, you know that. But they say, I want to flip this property, right? You know how they talk about hard money lenders? But people are going to hard money lenders and they're charging 10, 11, 12, sometimes 15% interest.
Right.
I can do the exact same thing, and I've done it before. I've used my bank that I created for specific purposes. That's one of them. I've loaned money and had paper signed for collateral where if they don't pay me, I get access to the property. And I've made 10, 11% on those particular properties while it was still growing.
Okay.
Remember, because it's like I didn't touch it. It's still growing. I'm borrowing. I'm making money two ways. That's one way. I become the lender and not a borrower. I become the head and not the tail. I become above and not beneath. You see what I'm saying? In addition to that, I use my bank to start my real estate projects. I own over 150 units of real estate. I've also used my bank to get my Lamborghini. When I got my Lamborghini, it was a $25,000 down payment. We talked about how you can turn a liability into an asset. I paid $25K. Remember, I borrowed $25K against myself. It's continuing to grow. The first week, I was going to rent it out on Turo. I kid you not. That was my plan. That's why I got the Lamborghini. The first week that I got the Lamborghini, I made about $150,000 because I got the Lamborghini. And I was like, dang, it's more of a profit for me to keep it than for me to rent it out. In fact, I like it too much now. It's because of my brand, the Green Lamborghini.
So you made, all right, so you say you made $150,000.
Yeah.
So that's off of that $25,000 that you borrowed again.
I paid for half the Lamborghini in a week without me putting any of my own money down. I'm borrowing from the insurance company.
And that money was still...
And it was still growing. So I made the money because I'm telling you, when you get luxury, people like evidence. Like, I'm not a core person, but I'm not even a lifestyle type of person. Like, I'm not a flashy person at all, but it's something about when you have proof and you have evidence. Things change.
No,
things are different.
It happened to me too. As soon as I got my Rolls Royce, I had this guy that was in my DM literally since 2017. Hey, I want to buy a real estate course. I want to buy this. Never took action. As soon as I posted the Rolls Royce on my Instagram. Can I see you for a day?
Yep. How much?
$10,000.
Wow.
He wired me $5,000. I was like, yo, I need to make sure you're serious.
Yeah.
He sent me $5,000 wired over. And then when I picked him up at the airport, $5,000 cash.
Wow.
I don't know if he's a dope boy or whatever.
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter though. You know what I'm saying? So it's true, like, you know, with so many people capping online and saying they this and that, you can't fake a Rolls Royce. You can't fake a Lamborghini.
No, you can't.
You just can't.
Especially when you see it consistently. When they see your name on the window.
I was going to say that personalized tag.
Yeah. Bro, I done made so much money with that personalized tag. I had this guy the other day. I'm riding on the highway. Dude sends me a video of me in my car and says, this was you I saw on the highway. And tell what highway it was. He said, do you offer a mentorship? I don't care how much it costs. I want to join.
Hey.
Sent me the wire the next day.
People ask me why I got mine on my tag. It's a reason.
Yeah.
People see that, they know that's you.
Yeah, cause you smart. You think like an investor. That's what you're supposed to do.
So let me ask you, Mark, what's your take with all the crazy stuff going on?
Yeah.
What's your take on crypto?
Crypto, I do have some crypto.
Okay.
So my take personally, a lot of people disagree with this. I believe that crypto is going to be something I do believe Bitcoin, for example, one day is going to go to like 150. Okay. I do believe it's a lot of growth, but I do believe at the same time, it's going to be a lot of heartache along the way. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a lot of times like recently where it dipped down like it did, maybe 30, maybe 40, maybe 50. So for those particular reasons, number one, I'm saying always add to it. I don't like day trading Bitcoin, trying to like you can't time the market. What I do tell people is don't put so much of a percentage of your money into something that you're not willing to lose.
Right.
Don't invest in Bitcoin what you're not willing to lose. You need to have a foundation. The problem is that you got a lot of people who are not financial advisors teaching people how to be stock market investors. Yeah. And you got people who don't even have a foundation of savings, putting their last $2,000 and $3,000 into Bitcoin, hoping to get rich. Mm-hmm. Well, I hate to put this to you, but if you got $2,000 to $3,000, you're not gonna get rich. I don't care what Bitcoin goes up to. You know what I'm saying? If you only got $3,000, instead of investing it into Bitcoin, you need to put that into an educational course or something where you can learn the game and learn how to invest, and then go back and systematically invest. In the meantime, you need to be building your base. You need to be building your foundation among some good, solid like ETFs, exchange traded funds, or some mutual funds, or something that's going to actually build a foundation while you take a percentage of that and then invest into Bitcoin, or else when it goes down, you have no foundation to fall back on.
So explain for the people that's watching this on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
What is an ETF?
Yeah, ETF is an exchange traded fund. So if you think of it this way, it's like you're buying an entire index of the S&P 500, for example. But the S&P 500 it's like, let's say the top 500 investors. Right. So you're buying a piece of the pie. Okay. Like 5,000 is not enough to diversify and buy 100 different stocks. Right. I mean, you're wasting yourself. You're spreading yourself too thin. But if you can spend 5,000 and now all of a sudden you can buy a piece of 500 stocks, it's automatically diversified for you. Mm-hmm. So that diversification is key. So ETF means exchange traded funds. You're buying a whole market. You're buying a piece of the piece of pizza. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you own it all, but it's a piece of it all. Instead of you just owning one. So what happens if that one stock falls? Now you're in trouble. Right. If you buy Enron and Enron goes out of business, that's all your money. But if you buy an ETF that has Enron in it and it goes out of business, you still got 100 other stocks that's picking up the slack.
Gotcha. Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So diversify yourself. You need to have an asset allocation. Before just trying to put all your money into something like Bitcoin, you need to make sure that you have a strategy that's going to build the bricks and the foundation first. So then you can learn and educate yourself and expand on everything else. That's really what it's all about.
Gotcha. So personal preference in your opinion.
Yeah.
Somebody starting off new that wants to build up the wealth. It's a wealth creator.
Yeah.
Invest in real estate or invest in stocks?
Ooh, that's a great question. Can I give you the third option?
Yeah.
So you said a person is new and they trying to figure out the best method to go, real estate or stocks, and what do? Let's say they got 10,000 and they trying to figure out what to do. The first investment that I'm gonna make is an investment in yourself. That's an investment in a mentorship first. Because you really need to learn what's going on. If you're gonna be a real estate investor and somebody has a course and it's a shortcut on how to achieve that goal, if it's a cheat code, why am I gonna spend my last $10,000 doing something that I have no idea what the heck to do? Why wouldn't I spend at least half of that to invest in a program that's gonna teach me the logistics where I'm around an environment, around a circle of people who I can learn from and find out what they're doing, and maybe there's a way that I can find out how to do real estate with none of my own money.
Right.
So now, not only did I not put that money into real estate, but I put it into an investment where I learned how to get 10 of those properties with none of my own money down. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe instead of me putting my money into a marijuana stock that I know nothing about, and then that marijuana stock or that cryptocurrency goes down, why not invest in somebody who's a marijuana stock guru or somebody who is proven to be a cryptocurrency guru, and now I can learn exactly which ways it goes. Not only is it going to save me money, but it's going to save me time, it's going to save me frustration, it's going to save me stress, And it's gonna save me losing a lot of my money, quite frankly.
Learn from their mistakes.
Right. So look, what I'm telling you all is, look, it's people on here right now on this podcast that I know got real estate courses that you can buy into. If you struggle with financial literacy, we offering a free strategy session. All you got to do is do wealthcreationcall.com. I'm even offering a free checklist to learn financial literacy and how to become your own bank. thebankerschecklist.com. Like, it's all there. Like, don't waste your time trying to do it yourself. Take a shortcut. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. No, I 100% agree with you, man. When I started real estate, I got a course. I wish I would have got a mentor early on.
Yeah.
I went through 26 deals and I had to back out of every single one of them. This was 26 properties I was putting under contract.
Bro, what did that cost you, though? Not just money. What did it cost?
So much time. Right. I can't think. It's so many thousands of dollars I lost making mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have just hired a mentor early on.
Right.
But, you know, me trying to just figure it out, I had these little DVDs, workbooks and stuff. Literally 26 properties from the bank. Had to back out of every single one of them. Almost lost my deposit on one of them. I didn't even have the money. I wrote a check for $1,000. I gave it to them. They didn't have the money on my bank account. And they were getting ready to deposit the check. And I had to like make up this crazy thing that I'm not even going to say on this podcast to get out of the deal. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm like, dang, man. When I did get a mentor and I started making money, I'm like, bro, I should have did this so long ago. I should have did this when I first started.
It's crazy, right? The best decision that I made, bro, is I paid $55,000 for a mentorship.
Wow.
$55,000. I want you to think.
55. People don't even make that in a year sometimes.
Let me tell you how much it would have cost me if I didn't do it, though. So that $55,000 that I paid has made me, within about 6 months, about $2 million. So if you do the math on it, it would have cost me about $1,945,000 to not do that. That's 1.9 million is what it would have cost me to not. See, people are so focused on the cost,
right,
instead of thinking about the cost of doing nothing. People want free, but I'm telling you, successful people don't want free. Successful people want fast.
Facts.
It can be free or it can be fast. If I told you, let's say I told you, bro, Bruce, let's say I told you that, look, I can give you this for free, and in about 5 years, you're going to learn how to make $20,000 a year.
That's too long.
Or you can pay me $35,000, and within 2 months, you'll be making $20,000 a year. Would you rather pay the $35,000 or would you rather get it for free and have it in 5 years?
I'm paying the $35,000.
Why?
Because I want it fast.
Because success loves speed, right? So many people are trying to be cheap, but cheap is costing them a fortune. Every single month, let's say if you're making $10,000 of money, you have the ability to make $100,000 of money. Just by having a mentor to show you the way to do it. Every single month that you don't do it is costing you $90,000. Every single month that you don't do it is costing you $90,000, bro. Over the course of a year, that's almost $1 million that it would have cost you by not doing it. And I'm not even talking about the compound interest that you would have lost and the frustration and the stress that you would have had at the same time, bro. So I'm telling you, pay somebody. Take the shortcut. You don't have to live life being frustrated when you got the money to pay somebody, or even if you don't got the money, borrow the money. Right. If I knew something, if I gave somebody $100,000 and I had a promise that I was gonna get $1 million, if I didn't have $100,000, I'm gonna do what the heck I gotta do to get the $100,000. So not having it is no excuse. You can either stay broke or you can learn how to make it happen.
Facts. Yeah, because people find the money for Jordans.
Oh yeah, I don't know how to
and all that other stuff. They find the money for the concerts and stuff.
Man, I was trying to go on Louis to get the cologne yesterday, matter of fact.
Right.
Lying around the corner.
Yeah, you're the richest man in the world now. We made them rich.
Oh, I know.
And that's all that's in line.
Yeah.
Especially with them PPP loans.
Yeah.
Man, I'm just trying to get some cologne.
Yeah. So look, man. So basically, look, we can continue to go down the same pathway. We are burdened with lack of financial knowledge. Like, if what you thought to be true turned out not to be true, when would you want to know about it? I tell people, the first time that you played tic-tac-toe, who won? You or the person that showed it to you? Who won? You, the person showed. Why? Because they understood the rules, they understood the game. The problem is we trying to play the game and we don't know the rules, and we getting outmaneuvered by the people who know the game. So you can keep playing the game and going out and thinking you can just buy all the stocks of the crypto and everything without knowing the game. But the people who know the game is taking all the money from you, and the bank always wins.
Right.
Or we can learn the game so that we can at least get on the same level playing field. So what I'm telling people is that our people are destroyed because of their lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Get the knowledge.
Right.
Get wisdom. Above all else, get wisdom.
Yeah.
Learn how to do it. Get into a room. Get into an environment and stop being cheap.
Right.
If you have the ability to get into a room and you can get into that room for $297, or you can get VIP for $10,000, don't even think about it. Pay the $10,000 and get VIP.
Yeah.
Why? Because you want to separate yourself from the pack. See, a lot of people say success means just getting into the room. I'm going to say that's not what success is. It's not just getting into the room. It's getting into the best rooms. It's getting into the best rooms. You need to separate yourself. When you get into the best rooms, everybody that you rubbing shoulders with can teach you something.
Yep.
When you try to be cheap, you're around other cheap people. So what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, definitely. So, before we wrap up too, I got a question, because when it comes to you said a few different things. Get in the right room.
Right.
I think the challenge with some people is, how do I find that right room? How do I verify that this is the person that I need to be in the room with?
Yeah.
What's your advice for somebody that's watching this? That's like, I mean, obviously, listen, from this podcast, there's a no-brainer that you need to give it Marvin. That's no-brainer. We already know that. But somebody that's watching, what should they do to verify that this person is legit? If I want to learn real estate, if I want to learn stocks, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's your take on how they verify who they are, who they are?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that say that they this, and I think that's what happens is somebody might make a judgment of, I think that I should go with them. They go with them. It ain't even that it just don't work out. It just, maybe they just do bad business or whatever happens, and then it stains them, and then they don't want to invest anymore because they're like, it didn't work out.
I understand. There's a lot of fake gurus. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fake people that make the industry look bad. And I'm going to say, people can lie and people can be deceiving, but the fruits that they bear can't lie. Like, you can deceive me. You can plant orange seeds and try to deceive me that you're an apple tree, but eventually apples or oranges is going to come out. You know what I'm saying? So what I want to do, I want to listen to that person. I want to consume myself with information from that person that I'm about to pay. But I also want to make sure that I look around at his fruit. Who is that person's students? Let me talk to that person's student. What type of results are you getting from him? I want to see how magnetic this person is. Does this person inspire other people around me, or is it just me? Am I being deceived? If I'm looking around the room, how I got my mentor, because I knew one of my mentors named Myron Golden, right? I knew that I saw him on Clubhouse, that every time he stepped into the room, he was respected by everybody.
Right.
You ain't gonna go about deceiving everybody when every single influencer on there is stopping what they doing and saying, Myron's in the room, Myron's in the room.
Right.
That's the person I want to mentor me.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. It makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So do your fact check. I agree with you. I tell people, some people are very good at doing what they do.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to reproduce results to other people.
Yep.
So like you said, making sure that they have successful people that they've actually taught. Because some people get to this level here, they don't even know how to teach people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can really see if this is the person you need to be with, if they also produce results for other people.
Or they making it simple, or they attempting to talk over your head. It's just like the workforce, bro. There's a lot of people that's good at their job, then they go out and try to be an entrepreneur because they were good at the job and then they fail.
Yeah.
It's because it's a different skill set. You can't just be good at a job and be a great entrepreneur.
Right.
Same thing with teaching. You can be great at what you do, but can you teach me how to do the same thing? Can you bring students up under you? Do people want to follow you? Do they want to listen to you? Is anybody following you, or am I the only one? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're not a leader if nobody's following you.
That's facts.
And you got to be willing to share that information. A lot of people are, I think, feel the fear of competition.
Yeah.
So want to withhold a lot of information.
Scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
Scarcity mindset. I need somebody that's gonna up me when I walk into the room. I'm gonna tell you that one of my good friends, he's here now, Josh, sitting in the back. I told him, look, bro, this is my goals. I want to make $100,000 in a day, and I'm happy. I'm puffing up my chest. I'm like $100,000 in a day. He looked at me and said, bro, that's too. Why? That's not enough. You need to add a zero. Because You see, your mind doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie.
That's true.
So if you can create anything in your mind, why would I limit myself to $100,000 in a day when it takes the same amount of effort and mental capacity to do $1 million in a day?
Right.
And once I knew that, I said, man, that's the cheat code, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm the only person who can stop me.
Yep.
So I want a mentor that's going to challenge me, even when I'm thinking that I'm at my peak. They're going to tell me it's not enough. The problem is that people are surrounded by people that when you tell them their goals, they're trying to talk you down instead of talking you up. Mm-hmm. They're trying to kill your dreams instead of telling you that you can do more.
Right.
So the best way that you know you got the right people in your corner is that when they tell you, not that, oh yeah, you can do it. You can do it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But you can do better, it's better.
Yeah. Nah, and I say one thing Neil always says a lot, you know what I'm saying, he's here today, is a fast way to kill a big dream to share with a small person.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that early on because, you know, you saying 100,000 a day, $1 million a day. People can't even fathom to make that in a year, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
So you get to sharing that with them, and then they like, oh, that's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And so I just realized, like, you know, sometimes you just gotta either keep it to yourself or find another circle of people that you can share that with, because most people, they can't fathom that type of money.
The best mental shift that I had as far as advice was when my mentor taught me to, whatever I say I want, whatever goal I say I got, whatever I achieve, add the word only in front of it. Mm. So I did $700,000 this week. I'm disappointed. Only $700,000 this week. And I kid you not, when I say that, I'm convicted from the heart. I'm not just saying it. I'm so used to saying only that it really feels like I didn't do enough. I should have did more. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna celebrate my success, but at the same time, like I didn't hit my goal. I wanted to do $1 million this week, so I only did $700,000. I'm always gonna say I only did because I don't want my mind to get comfortable.
Yeah.
I always want to continue to push myself and know that no matter what peak I think I am, we only use 10% of our mental capacity in our brain. So I know that there's always more than I can achieve. So I'm never going to trick myself and think that I've done enough.
Wow. Listen, man. And wherever y'all watching this, if you're watching this on YouTube, Instagram, wherever, make sure, man, you type in Lamar, man. He drops so many gems on here. Make sure you like the video, subscribe as well. Marvin, man, how can people tap in with you? You got your book, your checklist, your mentorship. How can they tap in?
Tap in with me on Instagram. So my Instagram name is Marvin Mitchell Official. Marvin Mitchell Official. If you want to tap into my company's website is compassretirementsolutions.com. Compass Retirement Solutions. At the very top, you can click on 15-minute strategy session to schedule your 15-minute strategy session, or you can go to wealthcreationcall.com to schedule your 15-minute strategy session. So tap in. We love helping people. We got an entire team, an entire infrastructure. We got 12 people on our team, several advisors that are just there to really serve you. So it's not just me, so you don't have to worry. If I'm on a trip or something, just know the business is still running when I'm not there.
Perfect. All right, so guys, again, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you drop comments. If you like this episode, spam the comments, man. Let us know in the comments if you like this episode. Man, I appreciate you, Marvin, man. You dropped a lot of gems.
Hey, I appreciate it.
I wrote some notes in my mental head that as soon as I get off this, I got to go put it in.
I'm going to rewatch it.
You know?
You see the triple threat. Y'all need to subscribe. Y'all need to tap in.
Definitely, man.
About to watch this again. But wait, before we go.
Yeah, go ahead.
We gotta give a shout out to Neil for the apparel.
Yeah. Shout out to
Neil. What's the website? How can they get these shirts? I know they want them.
Yeah,
newageceo.com.
Official entrepreneur gear. Like, listen, if you don't have this,
the uniform.
The official entrepreneur uniform.
The official uniform.
Make sure we're gonna have a link to that as well.
If you're an entrepreneur and you don't have this, you out of uniform.
Yeah.
Right. Show up in your 6-figure car with this on. The attention you're gonna get is crazy.
Hey.
Nah, but appreciate again, Marvin.
Hey, appreciate y'all. Joe.
And like I said, if you're on this, wherever you watch this, if you're on Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, if you're watching from YouTube, wherever, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like the video. And we are out. Again, I'm your host, Chris Bruce, aka Detroit Mobile.
Hey, Big Girly, MVP Vic.
Brian Keys, BK609.
We'll see y'all on the next one.
And we out.
Holla at y'all.
Thank you.
For the rainy days to help wash my pain away. Now I don't make a payment late. New estate got my name on the